Greetings and salutations, dreamers in dreamland. Welcome to the latest edition of Listen to Me. Listen to Me, Volume 29, the undisputed edition of Listen to Me. Today is Saturday, the 22nd of May, 2021, and today's the day. We've got Josh Taylor and we've got Jose Ramirez, one-on-one for all the belts at 140 pounds. That's right. The Junior Welterweight Championship of the World, the 140-pound title, all the belts, the WBA, the IBF, the Ring Magazine title, held by Josh Taylor. Challenged by the WBO, WBC champion, Jose Ramirez. Now, let me tell you, this is an incredible fight. I'm super excited for this fight, and we actually have TopRank to thank for this fight. Now, Bob Arum did drop the ball, apparently, with the Fury and Joshua fight, or whatever the case is. We can leave that to the side. With this fight today, with Taylor and Ramirez, excellent. This is the second time in recent memory that we're going to have an undisputed champion at 140 pounds, at junior welterweight, super lightweight, however you want to call it. An undisputed 140-pound champion. This will be the second time in the past 4 years this happened. And subsequently, and coincidentally, but not so coincidentally, the last time there was a 140-pound champion, a junior welterweight champion of the world that was undisputed, it was Terrence Bud Crawford. That's right, Terrence Bud Crawford. He was the 140-pound undisputed champion before he moved up, fought Jeff Horn, became the WBO welterweight champion of the world at 147 pounds, and is the most avoided guy at 147 pounds right now. For whatever reason, size of the street, he's not on the PBC side, whatever. Point being, when he moved up to 147 and he had all the belts at 140, those belts went vacant. And it just so happens that Jose Ramirez, he picked up one of those vacant titles. Josh Taylor picked up a title. And then they both unified. Josh Taylor unified during the World Boxing Super Series. Jose Ramirez, he unified with Maurice Hooker on an incredible fight when he went over there to the zone, crossed the street, and brought the belt back home over to the top-ranked side on ESPN, giving us an incredible fight this evening. Leading up to this incredible fight this evening, again, on Top Rank, and this is on regular old ESPN. This is not a pay-per-view. This is not watching Tank Davis on PBC, pay-per-view, fight for a baby belt. No, that's not what this is. This is all four major sanctioning bodies, world titles, the Ring Magazine Championship, and it's on ESPN. Basically, free TV. You don't even have to have Showtime. You don't have to pay for pay-per-view, and you don't even have to have the DAZN app, which I love, and I like streaming apps, but you don't even have to have ESPN Plus or any application at all. Regular old ESPN. You turn on your television, you go to your local watering hole. Anywhere there's a television, the laundromat, there's usually ESPN. You can watch this fight anywhere. It's incredible. It's a gift. And listen, this is not watching a YouTuber like Jake Paul or Logan Paul or an exhibition with Floyd Mayweather. No, this is not a pay-per-view with any of that. This is two of the best active, real boxers in the world today, fighting for all the championships at 140 pounds. That means a real champion. A real champion. Not just a titleist, not just a WBO champion, not just a WBA champion, not just a lineal champion, not just one of the four. No, this is all the belts at 140 pounds. All the smoke, all the business, all being done tonight. Now let's get into the competitors in the fight. First and foremost, we have from Scotland, Josh Taylor, the WBA, IBF Ring Magazine champion of the world at 140 pounds. Now, he's 17-0 as a professional with 13 knockouts. 13 knockouts. Pretty good knockout percentage. He was a 2012 Olympian. He didn't medal, but he was an Olympian. And getting to the Olympics as an Olympian in any capacity is a tremendous amateur accomplishment in sports, period. He also won a gold medal at the 2014 Commonwealth Games. Look, Josh Taylor is an accomplished amateur, and he's an accomplished professional. He was a world champion, then he became a unified world champion. He won the World Boxing Super Series, has the Ali Trophy, and the Ring Magazine belt at 140 pounds. Now, he is being challenged by the other champion at the weight. Another 2012 Olympian, Jose Ramirez, 26-0 as a professional, 17 knockouts. Very strong knockout percentage as well. Again, he's from the United States of America. Jose Ramirez is of Mexican descent. He's a two-time Junior Olympic national champion as an amateur. And, you know, the guy is a decorated amateur, very similar to the way Josh Taylor is a decorated amateur. They both represented their nations, respectively, at the 2012 Olympics. Neither one of them received a medal, but they both represented their nations in the 2012 Olympics. Josh Taylor, Scotland, you know, Jose Ramirez, United States of America. Both of those guys, you know, were Olympians on the Olympic team. Neither one of them medaled, but they were both Olympians. Point being, they're both accomplished amateurs. Now, recently, Josh Taylor has looked real strong. He's looked real strong in all of his victories. He had a real tough fight with Regis Prograis. His eye was shut, but he fought through it. And he beat that guy fairly convincingly. He won a majority decision, and I felt that he definitely did enough to win the fight. Now, there's some people that'll tell you that the fight was a draw, and there might even be fewer people that'll tell you that Regis Prograis won, but that's not really what happened. It was a fairly accurate assessment by the judges that night. Josh Taylor deserved that majority decision win, and since then, he's looked dominant in just about every performance. The guy's looking strong. All right, but this week and leading up to this fight, he's a guy who talks a lot. He runs his mouth, similar to Billy Joe Saunders. Similar to, you know, many guys in boxing, bad boys that like to sling the muck. They like to step on the microphone and cut a promo, try to sell some tickets, you know, make attempts at, you know, driving some interest up. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but being disrespectful can come back to bite you on the ass. It can. You know, Billy Joe Saunders kept asking Canelo Alvarez leading up to the fight before he fought, you know, Canelo a couple weeks ago, "Oh, I heard you like the beef. I heard you like the beef. I heard you like the beef. You like the beef, right?" In reference to Canelo and his, you know, his clenbuterol tests and the Mexican beef scandal that went on a couple of years ago. I don't want to go too much into that, but he kept, you know, poking fun at that possible PED test and that whole scenario. And what happened? He got his face broken. Was it a good move? I don't know. Would have Billy Joe Saunders gotten his face broken anyway? Maybe. But he pissed Canelo off. He definitely did. Now, Jose Ramirez. He's a very mild-mannered guy. He's very humble. He's very respectful. He's a great fighter. He has looked pedestrian in his last performance against Postal. Postal, who is a good boxer, who can make anyone look, he's awkward. He can make anyone have a tough night. He can make anyone look bad. Now, I do think Josh Taylor is even better a boxer than Victor Postal, who's world class. And he's still top 10 in the world at 140 pounds today. And I think Josh Taylor is a better boxer, and he packs a more powerful punch. He's more powerful, and I think he may be a little bit more durable than Victor Postal. But I don't think that Josh Taylor is more durable than Jose Ramirez. I don't believe that's the case. And I do believe Jose Ramirez, in looking pedestrian against, you know, Postal, and he was in a real close fight against Zepeda. Zepeda, who we'll see tonight on the undercard. He will be fighting on the undercard against, I believe it's Mendy. So that's going to be a good fight. That's going to be a good scrap. That'll be on the undercard. And I believe the winner of that fight will be in line to pick up one of these belts, because the winner of this fight tonight is going to have all four of the belts and will likely either move up to 147 or end up vacating one of the belts. It's hard to defend four belts. But outside of there being a draw tonight, and really, I don't want to see a draw in this fight. Nobody really wants to see a draw in most fights. It's like kissing your sister. You know what I mean? Nobody really wants to be involved in that. Nobody wants to be involved in a draw. And tonight, with all four belts on the line, that's really something that we don't want. So outside of, you know, a draw, a tie in the fight, we're going to have an undisputed champion tonight at 140 pounds. And it's going to be amazing. But the champion will probably move up to 147 and either challenge Terrence Crawford, or they'll stay at 140 and likely have to vacate a belt. And Zepeda, you know, he's lining himself up to pick up one of those belts. And, you know, I believe this is a WBA Intercontinental or WBO International belt fight, which is one of those, you know, lower tier belts that can lead you up into a world title fight. So, you know, look for Zepeda on the undercard. It's going to be an entertaining fight. But the most important fight, obviously, Taylor and Ramirez, the winner of that fight will be the undisputed champion. And I'm going to give you my pick on that fight. And my pick, even though I feel Josh Taylor is a better boxer, and Jose Ramirez can be a little bit one-dimensional, where he's just a pressure fighter coming forward who's going to throw a lot of volume. He's going to throw a lot of punches at you, and he's very durable. I think Jose Ramirez, I think what's going to win the fight for him is his intangibles. I'm picking Jose Ramirez to win this fight by decision, and I'm picking him to win because of his intangibles. Now, Jose Ramirez, he grew up in the Central Valley of California. He was born there. You know, his parents, I'm not sure if they were born in Mexico, but I know he's of Mexican descent, of course. I believe his parents were born in Mexico. However, Jose Ramirez was born in the United States of America, lived his entire life in the Central Valley of California. And I don't know if you know anything about the Central Valley of California, if you've ever been there, but it's really hot. It's extremely hot. Over 100 degrees in the summertime in the sun. And Jose Ramirez, his mother, his father, they picked peppers and they, you know, in the fields, in the hot sun. And Jose Ramirez did the same thing. Jose Ramirez would help his family in the fields working in between his amateur boxing tournaments in 100-degree weather underneath the hot sun. He's forged in fire. This is a guy that is willing to go the extra mile and do what needs to be done to be successful. He's not only proven that in the boxing ring as an amateur and as a professional, he's proven that in his life. He's proven that in his life. And let me tell you, the toughest of the tough will fall by the wayside in the Central Valley of California. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. That is not an area of the world to play around in, to fool around. And Jose Ramirez was born and bred and raised there. Okay? Look, I don't often buy into intangibles. I do like to look at the facts. I really do. And factually speaking, we have two unified, undefeated champions. They're matching in height and they're matching in reach. Josh Taylor looked a little taller at the weigh-in, but as per the tail of the tape, they're within an inch on height and the reach is the same. We're looking at two tough guys. Josh Taylor is a guy who grew up overcoming bullies that would take his lunch money and he'd have to fight back and he'd have to fight until he got his money back. He didn't grow up with a silver spoon. He grew up in a tough environment himself in Scotland. But that's a little bit different than growing up and, you know, having to help your family work in a field picking peppers in 110-degree weather in the sun in between your boxing tournaments. It's something that, you know, it's just something that personally, that's my pick in the fight. Now, this is a very close fight. This is very close to a 50-50 fight. It really is. These guys are both undefeated champions. I like Josh Taylor. I really like Jose Ramirez. I feel that Josh Taylor, with the braggadocious stuff, you know, throwing it in the face of Jose Ramirez, telling him he looked like crap at the weigh-in and at the press conference and things like that, being a little bit too braggadocious. Jose Ramirez is a very humble guy, you know, and history proves the guys that, you know, with the real loud bark, sometimes they don't have the same kind of bite when the chips are down. I'm not saying Josh Taylor is, you know, is that bad or that's the case or he doesn't have what it takes, but I just feel like the quiet storm of Jose Ramirez, the humble warrior, forged in fire, I feel like that's going to make the difference. And that's my pick in the fight. Jose Ramirez to become the undisputed 140-pound champion, junior welterweight champion of the world, tonight on ESPN. That's my pick. Everybody's favorite boxing shaman has spoke. Until we meet again, my friends, I'm the dream and you're not. I love each and every one of you, not near equally. That's just the way it works, jerks. See you later. Peace.